Welcome back to JSA TV, where we are coming to you today live from the floor of ITW 2025 here in National Harbor, just outside of Washington, D.C. We're talking to global leaders in our industry about all sorts of stories, news, industry trends, innovations that are really impacting the digital infrastructure space. I'm pleased to be joined by Jeff Ferry, who's Elea Data Centers board member, and I'm happy to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thanks for hosting us. And so, it's a great environment. Great conversation going on. Just a lot of good things going on at Elea.
Yeah, and you've traveled long and far and wide to,
I was just telling you
get
my
here.
my travel no, it's good to be here. Good to have some of the team here. So really exciting times for Elea.
Yeah. So tell us about. Let's start there. Let's start with, for our viewers, some of whom may or may not be familiar with Elea, but talk about who you are, the organization, and the role you play really within the Brazilian landscape.
Sure, that's great, and it's a great story, like I said. So we were kind of created or born out of the acquisition of the Oi data centers when they had a bankruptcy in 2020. So we acquired the data centers, which, as you can imagine, are very telecom centric, right? They're the hubs of the community. They were assets in Brasilia, São Paulo, Curitiba, and Porto Alegre, and so great connectivity. Spans the entire market or a big portion of the Brazil market. Since that time, we've added assets in Rio, a very highly connected asset that is the Globo TV headquarters. So a very nice data center, the most connected asset in Rio, which it houses their kind of like global and South American kind of technology. We also bought two assets this past year from DXC, which is the old HP Enterprises servicing company. So we bought their data centers in Alphaville and San Bernardo, and those allowed us to have the combination of those three assets and some extra capacity in Brasilia have allowed us to kind of change a little bit of the direction and the focus of the company to now be more than just edge, kind of telecom related, to hyperscale, cloud, AI focused, distribution and customer base. So it's a great progression. We've had fantastic conversations with that client base and showing them what we can do, how we can grow the platform, and the land and power we have access to in those three markets.
And you touched on a few things that I think are pretty timely to talk about. A lot of people are talking about the growing demand that's coming. It feels like we've been talking about this for years, but it's really just at its peak now. How the industry is set to support that, and I know Brazil is going through a similar
fantastic
trajectory.
So that's and so a lot of that, in fact, it is truly real time, because our CEO, who was going to be sitting in the seat giving the interview, is on the west coast of the U.S. with the Minister of Finance at Brazil, the mayor of Rio, the head of the largest power company there, in a partnership to go pitch and tell the story of not only Elea, primarily of Brazil, and and the Rio market, to be able to bring people in and talk about what's going on in Brazil, and really talk about the advantages of bringing capacity into Brazil. So those are, like, it has a widely distributed power system in Brazil, and reliable. It has it's 90% green. So when you're building out, you're fulfilling the sustainable focus that all the cloud and all the large hyperscale companies have without buying credits. Right? It's true green energy. We have excess capacity of energy in the system. So there's like 10 gigawatts of power that's not being used.
Wow.
That is available.
That's rare.
Now, it's not immediate, like it's not right there, but it's available that can be built out to, that you get that's why the power company is there with us, of talking about like the ability to kind of deliver a gigawatt, 2 gigawatts of power in a campus, like say in Rio, where we have our data center. There's plenty of land, plenty of capabilities to be able to build out that. So that's the exciting part, and the meetings are like literally, because they're 3 hours behind, it's probably not happening right now, but they're happening soon, in which they're meeting them all. They're doing meetings, they're doing conferences, they're announcing in the press. Like if you look, the mayor of Rio has already announced, kind of some of these things. Secondly, I think the Minister of Finance and the government, we've been, the team at Elea, Alessandro, the other board members, have been talking to the government about tax relief or funding relief. And so currently there are large import duties on some equipment that comes in, including computer equipment and other equipment. There's a plan in Congress now in May, so it should be this month. It's already been kind of put forth, so we expect it to be passed. That would alleviate and it's like an AI bill that would alleviate some of the import duties on these pieces of equipment, which makes it a tremendous difference in being able to build out. So that takes, I always refer to as friction. That takes one more piece of friction out of the system of why to invest in Brazil. So now we have a great story of why to build and why to build out capacity in Brazil. Green energy, excess energy, like reasonable prices that are competitive, and we have relieved the duties, and so and a amazing workforce economy. Like it's it has, we're kind of right on the edge of then seeing, I think, a lot of development happen in Brazil.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting.
It's great to be part of.
It's a good time to be talking about this. It seems like, and sort of thinking about where Brazil's even located in terms of connectivity out to the global marketplace.
Yeah, that's one of the key things about Brazil, right? Because of the size of the country. You see it on a map, but until you fly in country, I don't realize how big the country is, right? And so with very intense connectivity in Fortaleza, which is on the northern tip to the U.S., to Europe, and to Africa, it's probably the most connected city on that side, in the Atlantic. With then legs come down to Rio and Sao Paulo, goes down to then goes down south and hits Buenos Aires. There are plans to hit additional legs that would connect Porto Alegre, potentially connect Recife. I think there's connectivity coming into Belém. So that creates a very highly connected, universe of cities and environments that is connected not only within Brazil but with U.S., Europe, Africa. So I think that's the benefit. That's the exciting part of you have the connectivity, you have a lot of capacity, you have a lot of things going positively that you see, and so that's part of the what I would say are kind of magic about the company.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great opportunity that exists within Brazil in the market for all of the reasons you've already said. That's really still on its upward swing, and LA is perfectly positioned.
And the reason, we're unique in the fact that I'm only talking about Brazil. Well, we only have sites in Brazil right now, and I will tell you, we've talked about other markets, other expansions, but I think probably the best thing that has been working for us is focus.
Yeah.
Focus on Brazil. There's plenty of opportunity, plenty of capacity, plenty of customer demand that exists there. So you have one language, one currency, one government entity, one process, right? So I think that direction, that focus has really benefited us of just selling Brazil.
Yeah.
We also have the benefit of we're majority owned by Brazil investors. So that's unusual in that market, right? There's other players that are really, kind of US or Europe dominated, capital structures. Yeah. And so we feel like we're a data center, working with the governments, working with the communities, that is primarily Brazilian owned, primarily Brazilian capacity and sites, and focused on Brazil.
Right. And so much upside, right?
And so much upside,
yeah. Well, that's great. Thank you so much. I know it's a busy week here, so we really appreciate you taking the time to pop by and
it's always great to talk about. It's easy to talk about.
Yeah.
I never know what questions are going to come out, but I just I know what I'm going to talk about, right?
Right. You have a great story to tell.
It's very focused on, once again, focus I think is the key thing. Very focused on, developing Brazil, serving our customers, installing and executing. So, and our team has been great on all those facets.
Yeah.
So
exciting. Fantastic.
Thank you.
This is exciting. It comes
very
through.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice meeting you too.
Have a great show.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in to JSA TV live today from ITW 2025. Until next time.